Sup? Are you looking to launch a Lambda function with some large package dependencies, but you don't want to have to worry about the added complexity of managing Lambda layers? Today, in this video, I'm going to show you a simple method for packaging your Lambda function as a Docker image and then deploying it using the AWS CDK. This video was actually a request from somebody on a previous video that I had done about Lambda layers. Do you have a topic that you want to see covered in a video? Let me know down in the comments. Hi, if you're new around here, my name is Ryan. I'm an AWS certified solutions architect and developer, and my goal is to teach you modern serverless system design using AWS. Let's get into it. So let's start first talking about why you would want to do this. Outside of the benefits of containerization, the main reason you would want to do this is size. Lambda by default has a maximum size of 250 megabytes, and you can't increase this limit. Even if you're using Lambda layers, the layer's size will actually count towards that 250 megabyte limit. While this might seem like it's a lot, if you use Python or just use large packages, you know how quickly you can hit this limit. A Lambda that triggers a container image has a maximum size of 10 gigabytes, so you don't have to worry about space. You also don't have to worry about the added complexity of using Lambda layers, especially if you're just trying to build something simple. Today we'll be building a NodsJs Lambda function and then packaging it as a Docker image and then deploying it using the AWS CDK. This function will just have one dependency, but we're going to package it with the image and then deploy it all together, so there's no need for us to build a separate Lambda layer for it. All right, let's jump into the code. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to make a directory for our CDK project. CDK deploy Lambda Docker. We'll cd into that directory and we'll initialize the project. CDK init app-l Typescript. We'll just clean this up a little bit here. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is just make sure that you have Docker running in the background. The next thing we'll do is we'll just make a folder called Docker inside of our lib folder. In here, we're going to add a couple of files. We'll just create a Docker file, a tsconfig, and a file called app.ts. Great, so let's cd into that Docker folder, and we'll just do npm init. Enter through all of these and create our package JSON. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the package that we're going to use for our Lambda function. This is just going to be the UUID package that generates a random UUID. We'll just do npm add UUID. We'll do npm add typescript --save -dev. We'll do the same for @type/AWS Lambda, and we'll do the same for @type/UUID. All right, so we'll hop into app.ts here. I'll have all this code down in a GitHub repository down in the description, but it's just a really simple function and I'll just walk you through what it's gonna do. We're just gonna import the UUID package as well as a couple of types from AWS Lambda so we can properly type our Lambda handler. All right, and we'll just set our function to return a status code of 200 as well as a message containing our UUID using our UUID package. All right, let's hop into our tsconfig next. Again, I'll have all this code down in a repository, but I'm just gonna paste some boilerplate stuff for the tsconfig. The main things we're really concerned with here are the out directory, which we're going to set to dist, and we're going to make sure that it includes our app.ts when it compiles. All right, now let's jump into our Docker file. The first thing we'll do is we'll just import the Lambda Node.js runtime. We'll set the working directory to var/task. This is going to be the default directory for Lambda. Into that working directory, we're going to copy our package.json, our tsconfig, and our app.ts. Next, we'll run npm install just to install the UUID package. Finally, we'll just run npm run build. Now, we actually don't have a build command. I forgot to add that, so we'll jump back over here into the package.json, and we'll just have build be tsc. That's just going to compile our TypeScript into JavaScript. Next, we'll set our Lambda function handler to just be that app.js that gets created in the dist folder. So it'll be dist/app.handler. Again, this is because we just called our Lambda function handler. Great, so that looks good to me. So let's cd out to our main directory. Now that we've set all that up, we need to actually declare our Lambda function in our stack. The first thing we'll do is we'll do const Lambda function equals a new Docker image function. This is going to take in the context of this. We'll set the logical resource name to Lambda Docker function, and then we'll set our props. The first one is just going to be code. Code is just going to point to wherever we have our Docker file residing. We'll set it equal to Docker image code dot from image asset, and from the root of the directory that will be in the lib/Docker folder. Next, we're going to set our architecture to architecture.arm64. If we don't explicitly state this, we'll get an error when we try to run our function. Great, so it looks like we're ready to deploy. If you're getting value from this, please don't forget to like the video, and then please let me know down in the comments if there's any other videos that you want to see me make. So we'll just CDK deploy --profile cloudmancer. If you want to know more about profiles, you can check out this video that I did on them a few months ago. Let's do it. Of course, you do need to make sure that you have Docker running in the background, otherwise this is going to fail. All right, it looks like everything packaged correctly. We can see all the different commands in our Docker file running. What do you call someone who really likes Docker images? A Docker file. All right, so we'll agree to that. All right, that finished. Let's go jump into the console and test it out. All right, here in the Lambda function console, let's hop into this function here that was created. And we can see here that when you deploy a Lambda function as a Docker image, you actually cannot see or modify the code. And this makes sense because it's just running a container in the background. So we can hop over here to test. just hit the test button and we can see our execution, and it has our body message that just has a random UUID that was created. And test it again, and yeah, we get a different UUID this time. So that about wraps up this video. Please like the video if you haven't, and just let me know down in the comments if you want to see me make anything else. Thanks for watching.